It's been 7 long months without NFL football, but the wait is almost over. Next week, we go again, as 32 teams set sail on what they hope is a wild ride to Super Bowl 60 in Santa Clara. But how many of them are actually built to give it a proper go? Well, I've narrowed it down to 5 teams. 5 teams with the roster, coaching, and killer instincts needed to hoist the Lombardi Trophy when all is said and done. Because in today's video, these are the 5 scariest teams headed into the 2025 NFL season. Now, we're going to start with a team and a quarterback who have spent the last few years seemingly just inches away from glory. Last season saw Lamar Jackson and his Baltimore Ravens suffer yet another heartbreaking playoff loss to finish off another stellar season. In the divisional round against the Buffalo Bills, the team fell devastatingly short 27-25, in large part due to 2 agonizing drops by tight end Mark Andrews, including one on a 2-point conversion which would have tied the game with 1:33 remaining. That's for the 3rd season in a row now that they've lost in the playoffs in a 1-score game. But that's the thing, in 2025, they are ready to run it back as one of, and truly what I think is, one of just the most elite forces in the NFL this year. For starters, they have one of the league's few truly elite quarterbacks in Lamar Jackson. Last season, Jackson broke the all-time record for rushing yards as a quarterback with 6,173, cementing his status as the greatest dual threat at the position in the history of the sport at the age of just 28. But of course, Jackson is far more than just an elite runner, as he showed off last season more than ever. Jackson led the league in passer rating last year with 119.6, throwing 41 touchdowns and just 4 interceptions as the Ravens cruised to a 12-5 record and another AFC North title. His favorite target on the year was Zay Flowers, who continued to impress in his sophomore season, cracking 1,000 yards for the first time. Add in the newly extended Rashad Bateman, the newly signed DeAndre Hopkins, and the tight end duo of Isaiah Likely and Mark Andrews, and there is no doubt that this is a scary prospect in the passing game. And then, of course, we have to talk about the rushing attack. Beyond Jackson, the Ravens have one of the very best running backs in the game in Derrick Henry, who put up an obscene 2,114 scrimmage yards and 18 touchdowns last year, giving Baltimore the league's best rushing attack and giving defensive coordinators everywhere constant nightmares. The Ravens defense is also just as strong as well, ranking 9th in scoring last year, as well as having the league's very best rushing defense, allowing just 3.6 yards per carry. The team did have some issues in the passing game last year, but they've appeared to have made moves to patch up this hole, bringing in experienced corners in Awuzie and Jair Alexander, 2 men looking to get their careers back on track after serious injury issues. Alongside All-Pro safety Kyle Hamilton, this looks like a solid secondary assuming everyone can stay healthy, and of course, the team is still coached by John Harbaugh, entering his 17th season at M&T Bank Stadium, who remains one of the very best in the business, so there's no doubt that this Ravens team will be a tough one to beat this year. But let's look at the team that managed to do it in last season's playoffs. The 2024 season saw the 5th season in a row in which the Buffalo Bills won the AFC East, won at least one playoff game, and ultimately fell short before the biggest game of them all. Last year's 32-29 AFC Championship loss to the Chiefs, their 4th playoff loss against Patrick Mahomes' men in 5 years, really stung for Bills fans everywhere, as they wondered if their time at the NFL's top table will ever come. However, truthfully, I think as long as Josh Allen is under center for the Bills, their championship window will always be wide open. Allen was voted NFL MVP for the first time last season as a reward for an outstanding season in which he accounted for 40 total touchdowns, 4,200 total yards, and a 13-4 record, edging out Lamar Jackson to the award. As a result, Allen was rewarded with a 6-year, $330 million extension in March, and almost every Bills fan would argue that he is worth every penny. Allen is the first truly elite signal caller this team has had in decades, and he's the heartbeat of everything this offense does, as well as a true leader on and off the field, and he has a young, exciting supporting cast to back him up. At receiver, his number 1 target last season was Khalil Shakir, one of the league's most underrated receivers, having quietly racked up 821 yards last campaign and earning a 4-year extension in the process. Then on the other side, Allen has built a good connection with Keon Coleman, who had a solid rookie season with 556 yards in just 13 games and looks likely to build on that in 2025. On the ground, the team relies heavily on James Cook, who scored 18 total touchdowns last season and broke 1,000 yards on the ground for the second straight campaign. Much has been made of the lack of all-pros alongside Josh Allen, but this team clearly isn't lacking for talent. All of this combined for 525 points last year, the highest mark in franchise history, and a number that you think they can repeat this year if everyone does stay healthy. In terms of new additions as well, the Bills Mafia welcome in 5-time Pro Bowler Joey Bosa this year after his release from the Chargers. Bosa turned 30 this offseason, but he still can be a real X factor on this defense as they look to bolster this offense for yet another championship run. Other additions include cornerbacks Dane Jackson and former All-Pro Tre'Davious White, both returning to upstate New York after some time away. And truthfully, I think that this looks like a very well-placed team, a well-put-together team, and I fully expect them to run it back and, if they can get into the playoffs, make another deep run, I, without a doubt, think they are going to win their division. Kind of just comes down to see if, if they can beat Patrick Mahomes, if they do see him in the playoffs, or when they do see him in the playoffs, as I should say. And well, you're in luck because that's where today's sponsor comes in hand, Vuori. Now, truthfully, whether you're dressing for a workout, a polished day out watching some NFL games, or heck, even just on your couch watching some NFL games, Vuori has got you covered and fits right into your routine and is an absolute must cop. And well, because I'm just like everyone else, when I'm just at home relaxing and catching up on all things football, that's where Vuori's Strato Tech tees really shine. They're incredibly soft, lightweight, stretchy, and really just my favorite shirts to wear on Sundays when lounging around. Now, personally for me, my favorite pieces that I do own by them, actually, funny enough, I'm wearing it right now, that's how much I like it, are their shirts. Their short shirts are just unmatched. They are the best and softest, and truthfully, I like it better than most competitors out there. Personally for me, I go in XL in these. I always like to wear my shirts a little baggier, but that's just personal preference for me. And truthfully, all I have to say about this shirt are just positive things. It is so soft and smooth to the touch that's really why I like to wear it every single Sunday, not every single Sunday because I do wash my clothes, don't worry. But I just like to wear them so often. And well, as you guys know, I also wear a ton of hats. I basically wear one every single time I record, and it's just a nice way to keep my hair not showing, so that way I don't have to put in a product and all that stuff. And obviously, as you can see, I'm wearing a Vuori hat right now. It's perfect fit. It's a snapback if you guys can see. Truthfully, it's the nice mesh stuff too, so when I'm working out, it doesn't get all like tough and it doesn't smell. I can throw it in the washer if I need to. It is perfect, and I love their hats along with their shirts and all of their products, honestly. And look, you guys know I had to come through for you, so make sure to grab your guys' performance apparel that's built to move and styled for life. Make sure to head to the link in the description and click there to get your apparel. And again, thank you to Vuori for sponsoring today's video, and let's get back into it. Now, speaking of Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs, the one team that did knock them off in emphatic fashion last year was, of course, the Philadelphia Eagles. The Eagles absolutely dismantled the Chiefs 40-22 in last season's Super Bowl for the team's second title in 8 years, and at this point, they look like a team set to add to that total in the next few years. Now, of course, we have to talk about just the biggest game changer on this offense last year in Saquon Barkley. Barkley had one of the very best running back seasons of all time last season, putting up 2,504 rushing yards, including playoffs, an all-time NFL record, which earned him the Offensive Player of the Year award for his efforts. Barkley might well be the jewel in the crown of this offense, but this is an insanely stacked unit just across the board. Wide receivers A.J. Brown and Devonta Smith are the league's best duo, combining for 1,912 yards and 15 touchdowns, despite missing 4 games each. Add to the fact, too, that this team probably has the best offensive line in the business, with Landon Dickerson, Lane Johnson, Cam Jurgens, and Jordan Mailata, making life so much easier for Barkley. And yes, another beneficiary of that elite line is, of course, Super Bowl MVP quarterback Jalen Hurts. Hurts has had many divided opinions about him becoming the Eagles starter, but it's so hard to deny how well he played last year, particularly down the stretch in the NFC Championship game and in the playoffs. Critics will still refer to him as a game manager, but he's shown real maturity under intense criticism and has come out on the other side as a Super Bowl MVP and one of the league's best dual threat quarterbacks, regardless of how good his supporting cast is. Then on defense, the Eagles, as we all know, are just as impressive as ever. They gave up fewer yards than any other team all year, putting up the league's #1 passing defense. This stunning improvement in 2024 was largely due to the introduction of experienced defensive co-coordinator Vic Fangio and two stellar rookie cornerbacks Quinyon Mitchell and Cooper DeJean. Both men were absolutely excellent in last year's campaign and helped transform one of the league's most poor secondaries into the very best. Elsewhere on the defense too, Zach Bond is preparing to follow up his own breakout year from 2024 in which he earned All-Pro honors at linebacker, and to make matters even better, he's being joined at the position by Jihad Campbell, one of the most exciting prospects in the 2025 draft. So let's make no mistake that heading into 2025, the Philadelphia Eagles are truly just still a juggernaut and going to be such a hard team to try and knock off for anybody. But one team aiming to do that this season is Kevin O'Connell's Minnesota Vikings. O'Connell earned Coach of the Year last campaign after a remarkable season which saw the Vikings massively outperform expectations and finish the year with a 14-3 record. Despite this, the team let quarterback Sam Darnold go to Seattle in the offseason, believing this is the time to promote JJ McCarthy to the starting gig. During his time as a Wolverine, he helped Michigan to their first title since 1997 and gained a reputation as a great leader and winner, and someone who takes care of the football with just 4 interceptions in the Natty winning campaign. McCarthy looks set to slot right into this offense, which he has every chance of succeeding in. And well, for starters, it also helps when you have probably the best receiver in the NFL on your offense. Justin Jefferson is already on a Hall of Fame trajectory, with his 96.5 yards a game across his career standing as an all-time NFL record. Jefferson is one of those once-in-a-generation receivers who can elevate any team and any quarterback, as he's done in his 5 seasons in Minneapolis. Elsewhere in the offense too, Aaron Jones had arguably the best season of his career at the age of 30, putting up 1,500 yards from scrimmage after arriving from Green Bay in free agency. And once you add Jordan Addison and TJ Hawkinson into the mix, and the offensive mind in KOC, this Vikings offense is a real force to be reckoned with. But as good as this offense is, just truly the defense matches it just as much. Last year, the Vikings ranked 5th in scoring, anchored by the linebacker play of Pro Bowl duo Jonathan Greenyard and Andrew Van Ginkel, who combined for 36 tackles for loss in 2024. In the secondary, the team is held together largely in part by fellow Pro Bowler Byron Murphy and 36-year-old Harrison Smith, who shows few signs of slowing down going into his 14th season with the team. The defense looks like it could be even stronger this year too, with the additions of Jonathan Allen from the Commanders and Javon Hargrave from the 49ers, 2 men who still definitely have plenty to offer in this league. Overall, this Vikings team is a scary proposition and one that can beat you in so many different ways. Now finally though, we'll talk about one of last year's breakout teams, the Denver Broncos. They were led by rookie quarterback Bo Nix, and Denver impressed throughout last year and ended up snagging a playoff spot with a 10-7 record before being outmatched by Buffalo in the wildcard round. However, there are plenty of reasons to suggest that this is a team capable of taking a real leap forward in 2025 and maybe even moving into the NFL's elite again. For starters, Bo Nix had an impressive rookie year, throwing for 29 touchdowns and 3,775 yards as a rookie, instantly showing everyone that he belonged in the big leagues. And with Sean Payton as the head coach, there is every chance that Nix can take things to the next level in Denver, as Payton looks to model this offense on the Drew Brees-led one that was so successful for him in New Orleans. Nix's development will no doubt be helped by the extension of his #1 wide receiver in Courtland Sutton, who signed a 4-year deal in July. Sutton has also been on the team since 2018 and had one of his best seasons yet in 2024, topping 1,000 yards for just the second time and putting up 8 touchdowns. If Nix can take the leap that many are hoping and expecting this season, Sutton will surely play a big role in that next step of his development. Nix was also given a potential major new addition in the passing game in tight end Evan Ingram from the Jaguars. And I mean, truthfully, when healthy, Ingram is one of the league's best tight ends, having put up 963 yards in 2023, which ranked only behind George Kittle and Travis Kelce for tight ends that year. If he can click early with Nix, this could be a crucial addition for this team, especially when it does come to red zone offense. The biggest additions that this team has made, though, are on defense. On day 1 of free agency, Denver added a pair of ex-49ers linebacker Dre Greenlaw and safety Hufanga to help beef up an already impressive defense, which ranked 3rd in scoring last year. Both men were victims of the 49ers being unable to hang on to them and stay under the cap, and their loss is Denver's gain on this occasion. They join a star-studded unit which featured 3 All-Pros last season. Defensive end Zach Allen and linebacker Nick Bonito were selected to the second team, and cornerback Pat Surtain II earned first-team All-Pro honors to go alongside his Defensive Player of the Year trophy. Surtain is only the second corner to win the award in the last 15 years, which is an absolute testament to just how dominant he was, with 4 interceptions, 11 passes defended, and a passer rating allowed of just 61.1, which led to him shutting down teams' #1 wide receivers purely by his presence alone. A secondary led by Surtain, Hufanga, and an impressive Riley Moss will be a tough unit to crack for any team, including the Chiefs, who the Broncos are looking to overhaul as the dominant team in the AFC West and beyond. Only time is really going to tell if they manage this, but Broncos fans are rightfully excited for the first time in years, and they look like a real contender alongside the other 4 teams as we mentioned in this video.